We are at a crossroads in American history, a crossroads that looks like we are heading down in a direction that, let's be honest, no civilization has ever been able to recover from. And so there's reason for concern, there's reason for fear, there's reason for pessimism. But we're here at a church, as believers, we know how it all ends.
Amen.
We know there's reason for optimism. And we know how it all ends as people of God because we understand that under God, that our country can again be great and prosperous and good again. The left cannot be successful. The left cannot be successful in a country of God-given rights. It can't. Because they want to be the purveyor of rights, and if God is the purveyor of rights, then they lose.
That's right.
We have an obligation to educate, to form within our churches, to preach within our families, to educate, and to fight within our schools. Why are Bibles no longer in public schools? Don't give me the Supreme Court. The reason Bibles are no longer in the public schools is because we let them take them out of the public schools. You say, well, we can't get them back in. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. How much are you willing to sacrifice? How much are you willing to do something? You talk about Bibles coming out of school, they mention one person, right? Madeline Murray O'Hare. One person got the Bibles out of the schools. Right. Look, we have more than one person here.
Amen.
But you've got to have the same passion in preserving our country as they do to transform it.
No, you are the one trying to transform it because you have no clue what the fuck this country was founded on, man. That is one thing that is crystal clear about America. It's in the First Amendment. This country did not establish a religion, and it says you cannot establish a religion. We are the first secular state. That's something that's fantastic, but Santorum and all his minions out there in the crowd at this goofy event, they think it's the exact opposite. And by the way, this is the Liberty Council's Awakening Conference, all incredibly far right-wingers and fundamentalist Christians. They absolutely miss the point of the United States of America. You guys have heard me bring this up time and time again, but the word God, the word Jesus, and the word Bible appear a grand total of 0 times in the Constitution. That's not by accident. If the founders wanted to make this a Christian country, you know what they could have did? They could have made it a Christian country. They could have said, we're establishing a Christian nation. They didn't do that. They didn't do that. Why didn't they do that? Because they don't want it. They didn't want it. Go back and read the quotes of, we've gone over them on the show before, whether it's Benjamin Franklin or Thomas Jefferson. They said some very hostile things to religion. But Rick Santorum, of course he doesn't know this because he's an ignorant fool. And by the way, he also, on top of not reading the Constitution, this jackass didn't read his holy book either. Because we've gone over 1 trillion different passages that are right near the anti-gay stuff in the Bible that he doesn't argue for. So he's big-time anti-gay, and he says it's because of God in the Bible, but he's not big-time anti-fish market. He's not big-time anti-clothing companies, because in the Bible they ban a mix of 2 different fabrics. They ban shellfish. You know, he doesn't advocate that there should be a law which says that your wife can't sleep in the same house as you when she has her period. That's in the Bible. Your wife can't be in the same house as you when she's on her period. They don't even know what's in their own fucking holy book, but yet they believe it 100%. They're just tribalists, and they're married to their culture that they were raised in. So their mommy and daddy were uber religious and taught them that that's what they should do, and so they do it. They don't think. There's no thinking that goes on with Rick Santorum and all the clowns in that crowd there. He said, no civilization has ever recovered from this, referring to a secular state. No civilization has ever recovered from a secular state. Secular states are absolutely thriving. What are you talking about? A secular state just means that we figure things out democratically and rationally, as opposed to, I have this book which says stuff that there's no evidence it's real, but we're going to live our lives based off of it. Well, if you're going to go down that road, why not do it with Mother Goose? Why not do it with other books that, Harry Potter? Ooh, what are the secret messages in here? Read between the lines on page 37, and they have a really interesting message about how we should dress on Wednesdays. He says, as Christians, we know how it ends. Do you? As Christians, you know. So what are you talking? Are you talking about the rapture? You're talking about the rapture. So you know how it ends. You're 100% sure that when it all ends, Jesus comes back to Israel and flies bodily into heaven like this. He's flying bodily, kills most of the Jews and only takes some of the Jews. And, of course, Rick Santorum, the other week he was talking about how liberals are anti-Semitic. Says the guy who can't wait for the day that most of the Jews are slaughtered by his God. This is scary fundamentalism, man. I know I say it all the time, but you have this thing in America where people view Muslim fundamentalists as like, ooh, they're the evil, scary, bad ones, and we should look out for them. I hate all fundamentalism, so I agree that any kind of religious fundamentalist I'm totally opposed to, and I don't like them. But the ones you should worry more about are the ones that are here! The ones that make up 25 to 40% of this country. The ones who are affecting policy day in and day out. Look at all the anti-abortion measures that are pushed through in all the red states. It happens every year. The fundamentalists affecting you the most, stopping gay marriage, stopping equal rights, those are the Christian fundamentalists. And by the way, they agree on many, many things with the Muslim fundamentalists. So it's always hilarious that they bemoan Muslim fundamentalists because they're aligned with them on many issues. And to the idea that Bible should be in public school, and then again, he turns around and acts like the secular people are imposing on us. You just said Bible should be in public school. That's you imposing on us. Secularism, by definition, is not an imposition. We spoke about this the other day. Secularism means the government is neutral on issues of religion. It stays out. There's a separation of church and state. It stays out. So if you want to be Muslim, be Muslim. You want to be Christian, be Christian. You want to be Buddhist, be Buddhist. You want to believe whatever you want to believe it. That's a secular state. Whereas he wants a Christian state. What does a Christian state do? Forces Christianity on everybody and puts Christianity in the schools. So you're the one that's imposing. Secularism, by definition, cannot impose. If you ever want to know what the Republicans are doing and what they're planning on doing, look at what they accuse liberals of, because virtually everything they say is projection, and Rick Santorum is a perfect example of it right here.